Our story begins in the dusty lanes of Vadnagar, a small town in Gujarat, India. The year is 1950, just 3 years after India gained independence. In a modest mud house, without electricity or running water, a baby boy is born. His name, Narendra Modi. His father, Damodar Modi, runs a tiny tea stall near the railway station. His mother, Haraban, manages the household, raising 6 children with patience and love. Life is not easy. The family struggles for food. Shoes are a luxury, furniture a dream, and electricity unheard of. Yet amid poverty, there is dignity. There is love. There is resilience. Narendra is the third child, and from an early age he learns the value of hard work. At just 6 years old, he rises before dawn, helps his father prepare tea, and runs barefoot across the station, serving passengers in clay cups. His small hands carry hot tea, his ears absorb the chatter of travelers. He listens to stories of politics, leaders, and distant lands. Though he may not yet understand the words, plant seeds of ambition. Chapter 2, The Awakening. One day, while at the station, young Narendra hears the name Swami Vivekananda, the great monk who preached courage, self-discipline, and service to the nation. Curious, Narendra searches for books about him. He reads with fascination. Vivekananda's teachings touch his soul. He realizes life's purpose may not be wealth, but service. His heart beats with a new dream, to live for others. At school, Narendra is not the top student in academics, but he shines in debates, plays, and speeches. His confidence, his booming voice, his powerful expressions, teachers and classmates cannot ignore him. In a school play, at just 8 years old, he delivers lines so passionately that the audience sits in awe. Something about him feels destined. When others spend hours playing, Narendra sits in the library. He reads history, biographies of great leaders, and spiritual texts. By 12, he meditates regularly, seeking meaning beyond the ordinary. His dream is not wealth, not comfort, but service to the people. Chapter 3, The Journey of Self-Discovery. At 17, Narendra makes a shocking decision. Without telling his parents, without money or plans, he leaves home. He wanders across India, visiting ashrams, meeting monks, and learning from scholars. He walks through forests, sits in temples, and lives with sages. He seeks answers. What is the purpose of life? What does India need? This journey changes him forever. When he finally returns, he is not just the boy from Vadnagar. He is a young man with vision, discipline, and fire in his heart. He knows his life is meant for something greater. At 18, Narendra's parents arrange his marriage to Jashodaben, a quiet and traditional young woman. The wedding is simple, filled with rituals and blessings. But Narendra is restless. He does not want a normal family life. His dream is to serve the nation. Soon after, he makes a bold choice. He leaves his wife, never living with her. Some criticize him. The others admire his sacrifice. But Narendra believes personal ties must yield to his larger purpose. He chooses country over comfort, duty over domestic life. Chapter 5, The RSS years. Narendra joins the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, a Hindu nationalist organization that trains young men in discipline, leadership, and service. His first tasks are humble, sweeping floors, serving tea, cleaning offices. But he never complains. He knows that great journeys begin with small steps. Slowly, he takes on more responsibilities, organizing meetings, recruiting young people, managing events. His greatest weapon is his speech. When he talks, people listen. His voice is strong, his words simple but inspiring. He connects with farmers, students, workers, and villagers alike. RSS leaders notice his dedication and give him bigger roles. Chapter 6, Trial by Fire. In 1975, India faces a crisis. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declares a national emergency. Opposition leaders are jailed, newspapers censored, protests banned. RSS members are hunted. Narendra goes underground. Disguised in different clothes, using fake names, he avoids arrest. He secretly spreads awareness, helps leaders escape, and keeps the spirit of democracy alive. This period tests his courage and intelligence. By the time the emergency ends in 1977, Narendra is known as a fearless, clever organizer. His reputation grows. Political circles begin to recognize his name.
Chapter 7, Into Politics, the BJP Years. After nearly 15 years in the RSS, Narendra is sent to work with the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, then a small political force. He brings fresh energy, organizing massive rallies, colorful campaigns, and fiery speeches.
His ability to connect with ordinary people becomes the BJP's secret weapon. In 1995, the BJP wins elections in Gujarat. It is a turning point. Narendra's strategies and speeches have played a key role. His star is rising. Chapter 8, Chief Minister of Gujarat. In 2001, Gujarat's chief minister resigns due to poor health. The BJP looks for a replacement. To everyone's surprise, they choose Narendra Modi. He has never held a government post. Critics doubt him. But he steps into the role with determination. He focuses on development, better roads, reliable electricity, stronger infrastructure, industrial growth. Business leaders take notice. Gujarat begins to shine as a model of progress. People start calling him a development-oriented leader. But in 2002, tragedy strikes. A train carrying Hindu pilgrims is set on fire. Riots erupt between Hindus and Muslims. Over 1,000 people die. The state is torn apart. Modi faces fierce criticism. Some accuse him of not doing enough. Others claim he looked the other way. For years, the riots haunt his reputation. Many think his career is over, yet he does not give up. He focuses on rebuilding. He doubles down on development, attracting investments, and modernizing Gujarat. Slowly, his image recovers. By 2012, after 11 years as chief minister, he is hailed as one of India's most dynamic leaders. Chapter 9, The Road to Delhi. By 2013, BJP is searching for a leader to challenge the ruling Congress party in the upcoming 2014 elections. Many leaders hesitate. Modi is still controversial, but his popularity with the people is undeniable. He is strong, confident, and bold. Finally, BJP declares him their prime ministerial candidate. Modi launches one of the biggest election campaigns in history. He travels across India, addressing rallies in hundreds of cities and villages. He speaks of good governance, jobs, development, and national pride. He uses social media to reach the youth. His slogan, Ab Ki Bar, Modi Sarkar, this time Modi's government, captures the imagination. On May 16, 2014, results are announced. The BJP wins a landslide, 282 seats, the first majority in 30 years.
Narendra Modi, once a tea seller, is now the Prime Minister of India. Chapter 10, The First Term as Prime Minister. Modi inherits a nation struggling with corruption, unemployment, poor infrastructure, and terrorism. He acts quickly, Jan Dhan Yojana opening millions of bank accounts for the poor. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, a nationwide campaign for cleanliness. Digital India, encouraging technology and online services. Make in India, attracting businesses to manufacture locally. People see real changes. The poor gain bank accounts. Villages get toilets. Technology spreads. India begins to dream bigger. Then in 2016, Modi makes a shocking decision: demonetization. Overnight, he bans 501,000 rupee notes, 86% of India's cash. The aim: to fight corruption and black money. Millions stand in queues at banks. Some applaud the bold move, others criticize the chaos. The decision is controversial, but it shows Modi's willingness to take risks. Chapter 11, The Second Term. In 2019, after a deadly terrorist attack in Pulwama and India's military response in Balakot, Modi's image as a strong leader grows.
During the elections, BJP wins an even bigger victory, 303 seats. Modi begins his second term with renewed energy. He continues focusing on infrastructure, foreign policy, and national security. He promotes India on the global stage, meeting world leaders and addressing international forums. India is no longer seen as a follower but as a rising power. Then comes COVID-19. The pandemic hits India hard. Modi announces a nationwide lockdown. He pushes for vaccine development and ensures food and aid for millions. Mistakes are made, but India weathers the storm. His leadership keeps him at the center of the fight. Chapter 12, the third term. By 2024, Modi's popularity remains strong. Once again, BJP wins a clear majority. Modi becomes prime minister for a third consecutive term, one of the longest-serving leaders in India's history. At 74, his energy remains unbroken. His goals: a $5 trillion economy, better education and healthcare, stronger defense, and global leadership for India.
He continues to rise at 4 a.m., practicing yoga, reading spiritual texts, working 16 to 18 hours a day. He eats simply, lives modestly, and devotes himself entirely to his nation.
Chapter 13, the man behind the leader. Despite his immense power, Modi lives simply. He practices yoga and meditation daily. He reads and writes regularly. He avoids luxury, junk food, and even holidays. He has no children, no family life. His only focus is India. On social media, he is a giant, followed by millions across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. His speeches are events, electrifying crowds.
Whether at the Red Fort on Independence Day, in Parliament, or at international summits, his words inspire. He once declared, "This is not just a government change. This is a new hope for India." Millions believe him. Chapter 14, global statesman Modi travels widely, meeting world leaders, addressing parliaments, and representing India as a global power.
From the U.S. Congress to the UN. General Assembly, his voice carries weight. He has strengthened ties with the U.S., Russia, Japan, and the Middle East. He has received awards, ovations, and global recognition. Wherever he goes, he speaks not just of India, but of humanity, climate, peace, and development. His leadership makes India not only stronger at home but respected abroad. Chapter 15, Lessons from Modi's Journey. What does Narendra Modi's journey teach us? That poverty need not chain dreams. That discipline and hard work can turn a tea seller into a world leader. That boldness, whether in life choices or political decisions, defines leadership. That vision is not about today, but about decades ahead. That sacrifice is sometimes the price of greatness. His life proves that the past does not define the future. What matters is courage, consistency, and belief in one's dream. Chapter 16, The Legacy in Motion. Today, in 2025, Narendra Modi is still Prime Minister of India, still shaping history.
Temples have been built in his honor. Followers call him not just a leader but a legend.
Critics remain, controversies exist, but one fact is undeniable. His influence has transformed India, and his story is far from over.